Some people are saying that Telcoin is completely dead because it has been in correction for 9 months and lost over 90% of its all-time high value. But I happen to disagree with those claims because we have some signs on the chart that telling us the exact opposite. So today we'll look at the correction and see how far it has gone so far and if we have a chance for going up further. So if you want to know the details, stick till the end. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is King, your host, and this video is for educational purposes. I would like to welcome all the regular viewers and thank you guys so much for all the support you've been giving me. And if it's your first time in the channel and you happen to enjoy my videos, then please make sure to subscribe and hit that like button because it really helps. Now let's go and look at the chart. So let me start first by some facts that are a bit disappointing, but it's very important that we admit them because they will help us in a judgment later on. Now, if you've been watching my Telcoin analysis, you know that I've said multiple times is that the 1 cent area over here was the strongest support of all time for Telcoin. Because this one on the weekly chart have been retested multiple times. So initially it was in the 2018 cycle where it was rejected at the 1 cent area, and then it was retested multiple times as resistance here, a couple of times as support, and the last time was here before the price broke down and went. Now this is a bit disappointing because it's not the easiest thing to do to break such a historical strong support area. And everybody was almost certain that the price is never going to go below this line over here. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, the market has to do what it has to do. So Telcoin still followed the Bitcoin correction and broke below this level. So at this point now, this line, the 1 cent support line, has turned into resistance. And as you can see, the first attempt to break above this area has been rejected on the weekly candle. Going to the second fact, we can clearly see that the price did not adhere to any of the Fibonacci retracement levels. So as you can see here, the price was not held by the 38.2 or the 618 or even the 786 Fibonacci levels. None of them managed to hold the price, and we couldn't see the price retracing from any one of these levels to continue its uptrend. So this now leads us to the important question. If the Fibonacci retracement levels are not holding the price and the historical support level of 1 cent is also not holding the price, so what's holding the price from going down further? I can tell you at this point in time that the only thing that's holding the price is this candle over here. And there is an important theory behind this one. So if we take this one out, as you can see at this point, after the price of Telcoin here corrected itself for about 6 weeks in time, suddenly the buyers stepped in and pushed the price all the way up for 2 weeks. And this was our all-time high. So the theory says, because we had a lot of buyers stepping in at this point, and after the price has went down towards the same level where the price was pushed, because it was such a strong buy power in here, because the price went all the way from about half a cent to over 6 cents in a couple of weeks, and that's about 1200% increase in price. So again, the theory says because we had a lot of purchasing power at this point, this is likely to happen again here because the same buyers are going to step in and start buying Telcoin again at these price levels. And as you can see, we have a lot of rejections over here. Every time the price went down towards this level, buyers stepped in, and we have a long wick, similarly with this candle. Now I know that someone may be asking, so is that it? Are we going not to see Telcoin price go down further? Of course we cannot confirm that. It's always possible to break below this level and go down further, and that will be catastrophic. But this depends on what Bitcoin is going to do in the next couple of days, especially that today is the close of the weekly candle. So this is going to decide what's going to happen next week, because we might see a strong upside movement or a strong downside movement. It depends on the weekly candle close. But since that remains to be seen, I still lean to support this theory right now, is that we have ended the correction over here, and I have also another couple of factors to support this. First of all, if we look at the weekly oscillator for Telcoin, we can see that we have been oversold for about 4 weeks now. The last time the Telcoin price was oversold was at the end of the year 2020, and that's before it started its bull run all the way and achieved about 600 times increase in price from the all-time low here till it reached its all-time high. So this is a good supporting factor because the selling pressure is at its end and the price is so exhausted. So ideally we should see a retrace from here and a further increase in price from this point onwards. Now as for the second factor, it is actually on the daily chart, because I do believe that the overall correction, the 9-month correction that Telcoin have been going through, is finally complete, and I'll break down the structure for you now. Let's take this one out. So the correction started right here at this point, and from what we have right now, I can clearly see that a 3-wave correction has already been complete. The beginning of this correction was here at the all-time high, where we formed the first corrective wave, and then we formed a 3-wave in the center of this correction. This was one of them, this was the second one, and this was the third one. All together have made what we call a running flat, and this was the third corrective wave of the structure. Now if we look at this one, this is the running flat that I'm talking about, and ideally these 3 waves together should form one single wave. So if we take this one out and we draw the ABC correction, it's going to look like this. This is A, and this is B, and this is C. So we do have another factor to support the end of this corrective structure, and that's the MACD divergence. Because while the price was forming lower lows and going down further, if we look at the MACD, we can see that the momentum was fading slowly, and MACD itself was not forming any lower lows, and it's instead heading up. And this divergence is a sign that this overall correction is complete. And we also do know for sure that the last piece of this correction is not going to extend further, because the downtrend line of this piece was already broken right here at this point. So the third piece, or wave C of the correction, has already been complete. So with these two factors together, with the MACD divergence and being oversold on the weekly chart, these are strong indicators and signs to support going up further from this point. But let's now zoom in and see what are the upcoming possibilities for this chart. Now at this point, after the last piece have been completed and broken at this point, we can consider the end of the correction right here at this point. So logically now the price should be heading up further from this point onwards. However, until this point we don't have any strong momentum. Now the price initially was going with a really good momentum after this last piece has ended, because we saw strong impulses and pullbacks, and this was the second strong impulse, but this pullback ruined the whole show over here. So ideally what we need to see next in order to confirm a new uptrend at this point is two things. First of all, we'll have to see a strong impulse from this point onwards, because the movement have been corrective in its nature so far, and we will need to see that movement shift from being corrective to being impulsive with strong green candles going up, and that will support a new uptrend starting from this point. And this is very possible to happen today, because I told you earlier we are by the end of the weekly candle and we might see some strong movement by the end of the day. So initially we need to see impulsive movement. The second factor we need to see the price breaking above this line, which is the historical support which turned into resistance now of the 1 cent area, or it's somewhere between 0.0095 and 1 cent. So as you can see, the initial attempt to break above this level has failed, and we faced a rejection that pulled the price back. So ideally what we need to see the price breaking above this level, maybe come back again for another retest in order to strengthen this area, then continue its uptrend from here towards the next target. And when I say the next target, we're talking about the downtrend line of the overall structure. So the corrective structure started at this point, and this is the downtrend line of this structure. So ideally we can 100% confirm the initiation of a new uptrend only when this trend line is broken up. But that one is still a bit early to talk about, so currently we need to look at these two confirmations. First of all, we need to see some kind of impulsive movement to the upside, and we need to break above this resistance level. So as soon as we get these two confirmations, we can start looking at going up further towards the trend line and potentially breaking the trend line to achieve a new all-time high for Telcoin. So at the end, I would like to say that despite everything that has been going on with Telcoin price, I still like to remain positive on this one because the project itself is very solid. It has a lot of support, a lot of upcoming developments as well. So a fundamentally solid project like this one would always achieve the results that it's meant to achieve. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me, what do you think about Telcoin, and if you have any other projects in mind that you would like me to look at, please mention them in the comments below. And also make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share the video with friends if you think it was worth sharing. This was it for today, guys, and until next time, stay safe and see you later.